Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have an elementary level lesson for you. This is about fixing things.
That's right. So sometimes in our office or in our house, some small things may break, like maybe the door or the air conditioning. So in this case, we need to call a special guy to come and fix it.
So let's listen to today's dialogue, and we'll be back in a moment to talk about who this guy is.
The air conditioning is not working. We need to call a handyman before we start to fry in here.
Dan is on top of that. I think they are also getting the handyman to fix the bathroom toilet that keeps clogging up.
That would be convenient. They might as well ask him to fix the electrical wiring. The circuit breakers keep going out all the time. It's really annoying.
Yeah, you're right. This office is falling apart. Frank told me the other day that the gutters outside were clogged, and that's why the parking lot was flooded.
I know. I was in ankle-deep water trying to get to my car that day. The handyman definitely has his work cut out for him.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at some of those keywords and phrases on Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Our first word today is the name of this job. The person is called a handyman.
Okay, so that's a profession. You are a handyman. Now, what exactly does a handyman do?
Well, a handyman fixes things. He is usually a generalist. You know, he fixes things all over the house, not just the bathroom or the kitchen. So he can just fix things that are a little bit broken. But if, for example, your car needs a new radiator or it needs a new important part, you would take the car to someone who's more experienced with cars. But in the case of a handyman, if anything's broken, he can generally fix it.
Okay, so as Catherine explained, basically a handyman just does any type or many types of general work of things that may be broken around the house or the office. And
We had a couple examples of these in today's dialogue, didn't we? What was that first one? Kind of gross.
Yeah, well, he had to fix the air conditioning, but then he also had to fix the bathroom toilet because it kept clogging up.
Okay, so a toilet gets clogged up. To clog up. What does this mean?
So it means that something is blocking the way of, the water being able to go out.
So the water doesn't go down.
Right.
And sometimes if the toilet is really clogged and someone tries to flush the toilet again, the water comes onto the floor and it's very dirty and very gross.
That's right. So actually, maybe sometimes in the kitchen, pieces of food may fall into the sink and it may clog up the sink.
Okay, so to clog up means to block or to get in the way of.
That's right. And apart from the toilets being clogged up, he also may have to take a look at the circuit breakers.
All right, so this is not about water or about plumbing. Circuit breakers have to do with electricity. And in this case, that box in your apartment or near your apartment that controls the different circuits. So sometimes if the lights go out, pew,
Right.
you know that you have to check the circuit breaker and make sure that the circuits are all working properly.
That's right. So the circuit breakers are kind of like a protection from too much electricity, and that's why they go out. And now for our final word on language takeaway, something that also got clogged up at their office, we're talking about the gutters.
All right, so many people's houses have gutters, or sometimes an office building will have gutters. These are trays on the roof of a house or a building that will catch the water when it rains. Because, sometimes rainwater can be very, very heavy, and it's dangerous on your house, on the roof of your house, because it can hurt the roof. But if it comes into this gutter, into this little tray, then it will come down and fall on the ground. So these are a way to protect your roof. But these often get clogged up with leaves and with garbage.
That's right. So they're like small little ways or little roads, if you want to call them, where the water can go and escape and go into a specific place. We have them on the sides of roads as well many times.
So gutters you find on the ground. Sometimes you find them on the roof of a house, but those are a little bit different. The gutters on the ground are basically pathways for water to come down. Because if there's no gutter, then all of the water is on the road, and it can flood very quickly.
That's right.
And so this is a way for the water and even the garbage to go on the side of the road and not be in the way of the cars.
That's right. You see them on highways and roads very often because you don't want the road filled with water. So these gutters are a small path where all the water will fall into it and escape safely from the highway.
That's right.
All right, so that's all the time we have for language takeaway. Why don't we go back, have another listen to the dialogue, and we'll be back soon with Fluency Builder.
The air conditioning is not working. We need to call a handyman before we start to fry in here.
Dan is on top of that. I think they are also getting the handyman to fix the bathroom toilet that keeps clogging up.
That would be convenient. They might as well ask him to fix the electrical wiring. The circuit breakers keep going out all the time. It's really annoying.
Yeah, you're right. This office is falling apart. Frank told me the other day that the gutters outside were clogged, and that's why the parking lot was flooded.
I know. I was in ankle-deep water trying to get to my car that day. The handyman definitely has his work cut out for him.
Now let's take a look at 3 key phrases on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Well, this first phrase is a phrase that I like to use, and I do use it very often. We heard that Dan is on top of that. All right, so we need to call a handyman in here, and he says, nope, Dan is on top of that. So to
Okay.
be on top of something, what does it mean?
Well, when she says Dan is on top of that, she's basically saying Dan is taking care of this, or Dan is already calling the handyman to come and fix it. So you are aware of the problem and you're trying to solve it.
Okay, so don't worry. You don't have to call the handyman. Dan is on top of that. Dan will call him.
Right.
So to be on top of something is to make sure that something is done. So you could say, Marco, I hope you stay on top of that project because it's very important.
Right. Or don't worry, the report will be finished on time. I am on top of that.
Great.
All right, now moving on to our next phrase. They were talking about all the problems that this office has, and the person said, well, they might as well ask the handyman to also fix the electrical wiring.
Okay, so this phrase "might as well" it's kind of hard to understand, I think, sometimes. Basically, what the speaker is saying is that while he is doing this, he can also do something else. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he's here. He can fix many things. He might as well also fix the electrical wiring.
Right, so taking advantage of the fact that you are already doing something or you are already here, you can start doing something else as well.
Or maybe we could say this in a different context, like, we're going to order a pizza for lunch. You know what, Marco? Might as well order 2 because there are so many people here.
Right. So taking advantage of the fact that we are ordering pizza, we might as well get more for everyone. Okay, and for our last phrase, when they mentioned all the work that has to be done, they said the handyman definitely has his work cut out for him.
Okay, so if someone has his work cut out for him, it means that he has a lot of work to do.
That's right.
You can also say this to someone that you're talking to. So Marco's writing a book. And I say, hey, Marco, that's a really long book you're writing. It looks like you really have your work cut out for you.
That's right. Or maybe this project is really difficult. I really have my work cut out. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're basically saying I have a very hard time ahead of me. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's all the phrases we have for you. Why don't we have a listen to our dialogue one last time?
The air conditioning is not working. We need to call a handyman before we start to fry in here.
Dan is on top of that. I think they are also getting the handyman to fix the bathroom toilet that keeps clogging up.
That would be convenient. They might as well ask him to fix the electrical wiring. The circuit breakers keep going out all the time. It's really annoying.
Yeah, you're right. This office is falling apart. Frank told me the other day that the gutters outside were clogged, and that's why the parking lot was flooded.
I know. I was in ankle-deep water trying to get to my car that day. The handyman definitely has his work cut out for him.
So a handyman is also commonly referred to as a jack of all trades.
That's right. So these are both kind of funny words. First of all, handy as an adjective means useful or helpful.
So maybe a hammer is a handy tool.
It's a very handy tool. Or, I find my iPhone has some very handy applications. I can use the dictionary.
Right.
So a handyman is someone who's helpful. He can do many things. But a jack of all trades is very special because it means he is a person that can do basically any job.
Right. So sometimes in offices, people may have someone that they may refer to as a jack of all trades. So he may fix the computers. He also knows a little bit about marketing and does many odd and random things around the office.
That's right. You could say my friend Paul, he's a jack of all trades. He can fix a car. He can cook. He can, fix a door or a window, but he can also sew. So he's a jack of all trades. He has many, many skills.
That's right. And talking about these skills, being a handyman is not a profession per se. It's actually a trade.
That's right. And so we say this because it's something that you normally do with your hands, and you don't have to go to university to study it. You maybe have an apprenticeship where you study by working. And it's one of a few very, very important trades like being a plumber or an electrician. But a handyman is more general. Like we said, you can do many different things.
That's right. So very interesting. There are many trades out there. Maybe you can come on the site and mention some of these that you may know. Like, for example, a very well-known trade is a cobbler, a person that
makes shoes, right?
Makes shoes or
It's a very
fixes
weird
shoes.
word, though, because shoes and cobbler don't seem to have much to do with each other. Yeah.
Well, many trades like this. I know before there used to be blacksmiths.
We hope to see you guys there. Bye. Everyone.
Commonly. Commonly. Example. People commonly use smartphones for communication nowadays. She commonly visits the local library to borrow books. Communicate. 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 Example. They used sign language to communicate with each other. She communicated her ideas through a well-written email. Communication. 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 Example. Effective communication is essential for building strong relationships. She studied communication theory in her college course. Community. 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 Example. They actively participated in community events and volunteer work. She felt a sense of belonging to her local community. Company. 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 Example. He works for a software company as a programmer. She started her own company after years of planning. Compare. 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 Example. He likes to compare prices before making a purchase. She compared different options to choose the best one. Comparison. 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 Example. He made a detailed comparison of the two products' features. She drew a comparison between the two novels' writing styles. Compete. 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 Example. He trained hard to compete in the upcoming marathon. She competed against skilled opponents in the chess tournament. competition, competition, competition. Example: they entered the cooking competition and showcased their culinary skills. She won first place in the singing competition. Competitive, competitive, competitive. Example: he has a competitive nature and always strives to be the best. She enjoys playing competitive sports like tennis and soccer. Complain, complain, complain. Example: he complained about the slow service at the restaurant. She complained to the landlord about the noisy neighbors. Complaint, complaint, complaint. Example: he filed a complaint with the customer service department. She listened to the customer's complaint and offered a solution. Complete, complete, complete. Example: he completed the project ahead of schedule. She completed her homework before going to bed. Completely, completely, completely. Example: the room was completely empty after they moved out. She completely forgot about the meeting and missed it. Complex, complex, complex. Example: the math problem was too complex for him to solve. She wrote a complex algorithm to solve the puzzle. Complicate, complicate, complicate. Example: he tends to complicate matters by overthinking. She didn't want to complicate their friendship by confessing her feelings. Complicated, complicated, complicated. Example: their relationship became complicated after the argument. She had a complicated schedule with overlapping commitments. Computer, computer, computer. Example: he used a computer to write his research paper. She bought a new computer for her graphic design work. Concentrate, concentrate, concentrate. Example: he found it hard to concentrate with all the noise in the room. She closed her eyes to concentrate on her meditation. Concentrate on, concentrate on, concentrate on. Example: he needed to concentrate on his studies for the upcoming exam. She advised him to concentrate on his strengths and work on them. Concentration, concentration, concentration. Example: he had excellent concentration during intense focus sessions. She lacked concentration due to distractions in the environment. Concept, Concept. Concept. Example. He explained the concept of gravity to the students. She came up with a unique concept for her art installation. Concern. 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 Example. He expressed concern about the environmental impact of the project. She had a genuine concern for the well-being of her family. Concerned. 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 Example. They were concerned about her health and well-being. She was concerned about the increasing crime rate in her neighborhood. Concerning. 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 Example. They had a meeting concerning the upcoming event. She wrote an email concerning the change in schedule. Concert. 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 Example. He bought tickets to the upcoming concert of his favorite band. She performed a piano solo at the school concert. Conclude. 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 Example. They concluded the meeting with a summary of the main points. She concluded her speech by thanking everyone for their support. Conclusion. 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 Example. He drew a logical conclusion based on the available evidence. She reached the conclusion that it was time to move on. Concrete. 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 Example. They poured concrete to create a sturdy foundation for the building. She had a concrete plan for her business expansion. Condition. 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 Example. He checked the condition of the car before buying it. She kept her books in good condition by handling them carefully. Conduct. 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 Example. He conducted an experiment to test his hypothesis. She conducted a survey to gather feedback from the participants. Conference. 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 Example. He attended an international conference on climate change. She presented her research at a scientific conference. Confidence. 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 Example. He had confidence in his abilities and believed in himself. She gained confidence through practice and hard work. Confident. 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 Example. He felt confident about the outcome of the negotiation. She approached the interview with a confident attitude. Confidently. 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 Example. He spoke confidently in front of the large audience. She walked confidently into the room, ready to take on the challenge. Confine. 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 Example. They confined the dog to the backyard using a fence. She felt confined in the small room with no windows. Confined. 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 Example. He was confined to bed rest after the surgery. She felt confined by the strict rules of the institution. Confirm. 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 Example. He called to confirm his appointment with the doctor. She received an email to confirm her flight reservation. Conflict. 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 Example. They had a conflict of interest regarding the project. She tried to resolve the conflict between her friends. Confront. 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 Example. He decided to confront his colleague about the issue. She confronted her fears and stepped out of her comfort zone. Confuse. 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 Example. The instructions were unclear and confused him. She tried to explain the concept again, hoping not to confuse her students. Confused. 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 Example. He felt confused about which direction to take. She looked at the map with a confused expression on her face. Confusing. 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 Example. The professor's explanation was confusing and hard to follow. She found the user interface of the new software confusing. Confusion. 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 Example. There was confusion among the audience about the event's schedule. She experienced confusion when faced with conflicting information. Congratulate. 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 Example. He congratulated her on winning the award. She called to congratulate her friend on the promotion. Congratulation. 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 Example. He received many congratulations for his achievements. She sent a heartfelt congratulation to the newlyweds. Congress. 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 Example. He attended a Congress on environmental sustainability. She participated in the annual Congress of Scientists. Connect. 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 Example. He used a cable to connect the computer to the monitor. She connected with old friends through social media. Connected. 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 Example. He felt connected to nature while hiking in the mountains. She had a strong network of connected professionals in her field. Connection. 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 Example. He established a strong connection with his new colleague. She lost her internet connection during the storm. Conscious. 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 Example. He made a conscious effort to improve his eating habits. She was conscious of the impact her words could have on others. Consequence. 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 Example. He understood the consequences of his actions. She faced the consequences of her decision. Conservative. 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 Example. He holds conservative views on political and social issues. She dressed in a conservative manner for the formal event. Consider. 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 Example. He asked her to consider his proposal before making a decision. She considered different options before choosing a career path. Considerable. 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 Example. He had considerable experience in the field of finance. She made a considerable effort to meet the deadline. Considerably. 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 Example. The price of the product was reduced considerably. She felt considerably better after taking the medicine. Consideration. 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 Example. He took her feelings into consideration before making a comment. She appreciated the consideration shown by her colleagues. Consist. 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 Example. The team consists of experienced professionals. Her daily routine consists of exercise, work, and family time. Consist of. Consist of. Consist of. Example. The salad consists of lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers. The committee consists of representatives from different departments. Constant. 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 Example. He faced constant challenges in his job. She provided constant support to her friends. Constantly. 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 Example. He was constantly checking his phone for updates. She was constantly busy with her work and personal commitments. Construct. 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 Example. He helped construct the new building. She used Lego blocks to construct a model of a house. Construction. 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 Example. He worked in construction, building houses. She observed the construction of a bridge with interest. Consult. 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 Example. He consulted a lawyer for legal advice. She consulted her doctor about her health concerns. Consumer. 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 Example. He is a smart consumer who compares prices before making a purchase. She studied consumer behavior for her marketing research. Contact. 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 Example. He lost his phone contacts when he dropped his phone in water. She added her new colleague's email to her contact list. Contain. 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 Example. The box contained a variety of toys. The report contains detailed information about the project. Container. 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 Example. He stored the leftovers in a plastic container. She packed her belongings in a moving container. Contemporary. 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 Example. He enjoys reading contemporary novels. She visited a contemporary art exhibition. Content. 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 Example. He published new content on his blog regularly. She created engaging content for her social media followers. Contest. 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 Example. He participated in a photography contest and won first place. She entered a singing contest and impressed the judges. Context. 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 Example. He didn't understand the joke because he was unaware of the context. She provided the historical context for the events described in the book. Continent. Continent.